students here, huh?
No.
All right, I would like to call the annual organizational meeting to order. Would you call the roll, please? Member Sandsted.
I would. Member Gorham. Member Kirby.
Here.
Member Loeffler-Kemp.
Here.
Member Lofold.
Here.
Member Oswald.
Here.
I am here. Member Trinka.
Here.
Superintendent Gronseth.
Here.
Assistant Superintendent Horton is excused.
He's somewhere.
He's around? Okay, we'll put excused. Deputy Clerk Erickson. Secretary Dolans. And Secretary Thibault. And our student reps are excused. We have a quorum.
Thank you. The next thing is to approve our agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Member Lofold. Second?
Second.
Seconded by Member Sandsted. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then that is approved. Next, we then have election of the chairperson according to Minnesota state statutes. And then we will follow that with voting for clerk, treasurer, and vice chair. Once the new chair is elected, they will assume duties of the chair. This will be an open ballot. That is, we will all indicate who we are voting for, and it will be recorded by the secretary. Any board member can nominate anyone, and they can nominate themselves. No second is necessary. A nominee can decline or refuse, and I think a nominee can give a short statement as why they want to have a position for which they are nominated for. I don't think that asking questions of each other, it really isn't a candidate forum we're having here. So I think that people can say why they want the job. If the board wants to have a full discussion, they can vote to do so, but I think that this is really an election, not a candidate forum. That's my opinion. The number of votes needed to be elected will be more than half, so we'll take 4 votes. And abstentions aren't included. So, given that, I will open the nominations for chair. Member Sandsted.
I nominate Member Kirby.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Member Lofold.
I nominate Rosie Loeffler-Kemp.
Thank you. Any other nominations? I think I will decline just because I've been for 2 years, and I will decline. Thank you. Any further nominations? Are there any other nominations? Member Oswald.
I nominate myself.
Member Oswald is nominated. Are there any other nominations? Member Lofold, do you have a...
I'll wait and see if there's other nominations, but I do want to remind both nominees that I would like to hear, what your leadership style is or why you're running for the position. But I don't want to close nominations yet either.
Okay. Any other nominations? Seeing no other nominations, I'll close the nominations. And Member Loeffler-Kemp, would you like to give us? Sorry, there you go.
My button's red. Am I on?
Yep.
Okay. So thank you for the nomination and for being considered. I have put some thought into thinking about if I wanted to be nominated. I had been encouraged to be nominated in the past, and I felt I didn't have the time commitment. And So this year, as I put a lot of thought into it, again, there were, I guess, three things that kind of surfaced why I was interested, and one is just I feel like the chair, it's really important they're out in the community, building relationships with our school board members, our staff, our community, and I think I bring that leadership style of relationship building and collaboration. The second thing I thought a lot about was just my experience. I've served in other leadership roles here on the board and chaired committees, so I think I bring that depth of experience that will help support board members in those roles and support the role of the chair. And then the third piece that I know for all of us, because of the time commitment we put into being on the school board, time is always a big factor. And so that was something I thought a lot about and had a lot of discussions with Chair Kirby about. And I feel like I have the time. My work has changed some. My family commitments are less. And I know board chair does more than attend meetings. They're out in the community. They're communicating between board members. They're supporting our staff in lots of different ways. And so I feel that I can put the time into it that's required. And I hope I've shown that in some of the other ways I've been involved here on the board. So I would accept the nomination with those conditions and those experiences that I would bring.
Member Oswald?
Thank you. I'd really like to be considered as chair because I feel I can be a leader that brings nonpartisanship to our group, which I think the community will see as a valued trait among us moving forward. I also think that we're in a time of change and transition with the Department of Human Rights and the comp ed discussions and the many other factors that are working with the communities of color and disenfranchised people, and I work extensively within those groups already, and I think I can meet the challenge of bringing their voices to the table with us and be more inclusive than we have previously, because that work is extremely important to us moving forward and being successful as a district as a whole. I also know this district inside out and backwards. I've been here for a very long time, and I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of things, and I know a lot of roles, and people freely talk to me, and I think I can bring their voices and hear their voices without bias. And lastly, I have the educational background to lead the district from the board perspective with my master's in teaching. So I understand teaching, I understand the role of education, I understand how policy works in it. So I hope you will consider voting for me.
Thank you. All right, I think we are ready to vote then. I guess the way to do this is for the clerk to call our names, and then we can indicate who you're voting for.
Okay.
Oops, sorry, I better turn your thing on. There we go.
Okay, Member Gorham, your vote. Member Kirby.
Member Loeffler-Kemp?
Member Loeffler-Kemp.
Myself.
Member Lofald.
Member Loeffler-Kemp.
Member Oswald.
Myself.
I'm going to vote for Member Oswald. Member Trinka.
Member Loeffler-Kemp.
You want me to summarize, Chair? There are 5 votes for Member Loeffler-Kemp, so she is the chair.
Thank you. Excellent.
Yes, why not? We have a chair.
Okay. Thank you. Just give me one moment here. Okay.
You can take some time.
Okay. So do I just?
You just touch it.
Okay. Okay.
Mic that
Okay.
you want.
Great. Okay. Thank you. Well, thank you so much again. I look forward to facilitating our work, which is the role of the chair, and I look forward to having your support and patience as I go through a learning curve, just like Chair Kirby told us he went through a learning curve. So I will appreciate any support and guidance as well. And thank you again for having confidence in me. So our next item is then electing vice chair. So we can take nominations from the floor for vice chair. Member Oswald, or excuse me, Member Lofold.
I'm going to nominate myself for vice chair. I don't know if you want me to share with you what you did, or you wait till nominations.
Why don't we take nominations and then we'll have any of the candidates share. Okay. Okay, Member Lofold. Are there any other nominations? Okay, and any other nominations? And as you know, we asked 3 times. Yeah, I'm not forgetful. Okay. Okay, nominations will be closed then, and Member Lofold is the only candidate, and so Member Lofold, do you want to just say a couple words why you're interested in being vice chair?
So I think I have chaired the education committee, so a little bit of experience. I'm not going to claim that it's a ton of experience, but I feel like it's been a heavy agenda committee, and it's taken a lot of study on my part, and just that ability to listen and to be engaged in our board discussion, but probably more experience in I see the role as the vice chair as someone who can build relationships and is willing to reach out to our chair and to other board members and be a good communicator, open to suggestions and ideas and ways that we can still move forward as a board. I'm really interested in that. I think that my experience in managing a classroom, I don't know, I could be off as far as like a vice chair sometimes has to take on responsibilities with very little notice, whether that's stepping in to lead our meetings or a number of things that just might come up at the last minute. And I can't think of anything more than I've got experience with managing 9th graders. You're always looking for the very next, thing to have to take care of. So maybe that would make a strong vice chair. And I just think it's a show of my leadership. We all have leadership skills. I think we're all looking to find our place to be effective, and I would be honored to be in that role and be able to step in. I know parliamentary procedure. We need that. So that would be why I think I'd take on that role.
Okay. Thank you, Member Lofold. Okay, so being Member Lofold is the only candidate nominated for the office of vice chair, I can declare her elected by acclamation and direct the clerk to show that in the minutes. Okay. Okay, congratulations. Thank you again for taking that on. Okay, the next position is the election of clerk. So nominations are now in order for the office of clerk. Okay, Member Trinka.
I'd like to nominate Member Oswald.
Okay, thank you. Member Gorham. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Nominate myself, please.
Okay. Member Gorham has nominated himself. Okay. Is there any further nominations for the office of chair or of clerk? Is there any further nominations for the office of clerk? Okay. So we have Member Oswald that has been nominated, and Member Gorham that has been nominated, and so we'll give them each a minute to share why they would like to be in this position. And why don't we start with Member Oswald?
Thank you for the nomination. I gratefully accept it. I think all of the reasons that I have stated previously will apply to being a clerk too. I believe that being a part of the valuable discussion that happens as a clerk with the administration is vitally important, and to have an extra viewpoint that isn't always necessarily, just yes, no. I like to think my questions through, and I think I bring valuable points to the discussion. So I think we can be a better board with me as clerk. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Oswald. Member Gorham?
Yeah, I foresee myself in the future taking on perhaps other leadership roles on the board. I was treasurer last year. As you know, clerk plays a different role, and I think it was alluded to, interacts more closely with administration. And I do think that I can be a great avenue and communicator between other board members who may not always be in those meetings and the administration, and vice versa. I'm a person who I'm a servant leader. I'm here to support the roles of all people so that they're able to do them better, whether it's administration, fellow board members, or listening to our community members and bringing their various perspectives, concerns, here, there, and anywhere, and being responsive with answers that tell the story of what's going on. Those are skills I'd like to bring, and humbly nominate myself, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Member Gorham. So we now will have the election for clerk, and Member Sandsted, would you do the roll call? Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Sometimes they like to turn it off, and you've already done it, so it goes back.
Okay, sorry.
All right, Member Gorham, your vote. Member Kirby, your vote.
Me?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Member Gorham.
Member Loeffler-Kemp.
Member Gorham.
Member Lofald. Member Gorham. Member Oswald.
Myself.
I am voting for Member Oswald. Member Trinka.
Member Oswald.
Okay. Member Gorham had 4 votes, so he gets to take over the clerking. Okay. Would you like the seat or just the materials, Member Gorham?
The materials are fine.
Okay. Congratulations, Member Gorham, and again, thank you both for putting forth a nomination. Thank you. Okay. Okay. The next is the election of a treasurer. So nominations now are in order for the office of treasurer. Okay. Member Sandsted? No. Okay.
I nominate Member Trinka.
Okay, thank you. Nominations are open for the office of treasurer. Nominations are open for the office of treasurer. Go ahead. Go ahead. Kirby. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to come in and practice this tomorrow. Okay.
The names are getting a little.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
I nominate Member Oswald.
Okay. Are there any further nominations? Okay. I would like then to give the opportunity for both candidates to say a few words. Member Trinka, do you want to begin?
Thank you, Member Sandsted, for the nomination. I'm feeling a little conflicted about accepting it because I appreciate the leadership that Member Oswald brings to the board and would like to see her in a leadership position. That being said, I think that I've shown quite a bit of leadership as the chair of the business committee this last year, and it's probably won't come as a surprise that I'm going to seek that appointment again. I think I've developed a really great working relationship with our new CFO, and between the two of us, we have a lot of plans and aspirations for ways to not only work with the community on being more transparent about how our schools are funded and where our funding is going and optimizing our funding, but also doing a lot of education with the board and working with leadership to ensure that we're maximizing the utilization of funds that we have available and being very clear about how those funds are being used. So I would really appreciate the opportunity to serve in an additional leadership capacity on the board and appreciate your consideration of my nomination.
Thank you. Member Trinka and Member Oswald?
I, too, am feeling a bit conflicted knowing that Member Trinka has a wealth of experience with budgets and things. However, I gratefully accept the nomination from Member Kirby based on the fact that this is my 4th year and I may not have another year after this. And so I would really like to be able to serve in a leadership capacity as it has evaded my talents so far. So I would hope that you could see that I can have a leadership position and be of value beyond what I have been.
Okay. Thank you, Member Oswald. Okay. Member Gorham, do you want to do the vote?
Member Oswald.
You have to call.
Yeah. Call the vote? Okay.
New job.
New job. Yeah, that's okay.
Myself, Member Oswald. And then we go to, see, patience, right? Member Kirby.
Member Oswald.
Member Loeffler-Kemp.
Member Trinka.
Member Lofald.
Member Trinka.
Member Oswald.
Myself.
Member Sandsted.
Member Trinka.
Member Trinka.
Myself.
Congratulations, Member Trinka. 4-3.
So it
Yes.
is 4-3.
Member Oswald.
Member Oswald, 4 to, sorry?
She asked who you voted for.
I voted for Member Oswald. Thank you.
So the vote was 4-3 with Member Trinka becoming treasurer. So congratulations, and again, thank you both for putting forth your names. Congratulations. Okay, I just, before we move on to the next couple things, want to say that as the current chair, I think that we all do, I really want to stress, we all bring a lot of different skills and life experiences to this board, and I hope that we can all continue to work to develop those strengths and use them in a way that we're working effectively together. I also want to just take a minute to thank Chair Kirby again for his 2 years of serving us as chair, for his time, his commitment, his patience, his missing many family activities to be a leader for us here at the board, at the school board level. So just another round of applause to thank Member Kirby for his leadership. Thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is appointment of the deputy clerk and then appointment of our board secretaries. And we want to appoint deputy clerk Kathy Erickson. And do I ask if she accepts the appointment, or is it just?
No, we just assumed.
A board, okay. So thank you, Kathy Erickson. So I make a motion to appoint Deputy Clerk Kathy Erickson.
Second.
Okay.
Discussion?
Any discussion? Okay. Okay, all in favor of Kathy Erickson? Aye. Aye. Is that everyone? Any opposed? Okay. So Kathy Erickson, thank you for your appointment as Deputy Clerk. And then appointment of board secretaries, Melinda Thibault and Jackie Dolence. I make a motion to appoint them. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, seconded by Member Sandsted. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor of appointing our 2 board secretaries, Melinda Tebow and Jackie Dolans, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, not you two. We see you. You don't want us to throw candy at you, but we do thank you for the candy, and thank you for agreeing to the appointment of our board secretaries and for all your great work in making our jobs easier as a board. So thank you both a lot. Okay. So the next items then are a number of resolutions that we do a motion for, and in the past we've always had people just go down and read them. Some are short, some are longer, and so our shorter. What?
Member Trinka always gets the...
Yes, I know. I remember that, so I'm kind of doing the math really quick here. I think we'll start with you, Member Trinka, and it's Resolution B-1-19-3611 on meeting dates and times, and I'll turn on your mic.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. So I move Resolution B-1-19-3611, selection of meeting dates and times, resolved by the School Board of Independent School District Number 709, St. Louis County, Minnesota, that the regular meetings of the school board shall be held the third Tuesday of each month at 6:30 p.m. at the historic Old Central High School unless otherwise scheduled by the school board. Be it further resolved that if the regular meeting is canceled and cannot be held on the regular scheduled date listed above due to weather or unforeseen circumstances, it will be held the very next day at the same time and location. With that, I move Resolution B-1-19-3611.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Member Sandsted. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the selection of our meeting dates and times, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, resolution carries. The next one is the resolution concerning our deposits. Member Gorham, would you mind doing that one, and we'll just keep going this way? Okay.
Designation of depositories and acceptance of collateral. Resolved by the School Board of Independent School District Number 709, St. Louis County, Minnesota, that Harbor Point Credit Union, North Shore Bank of Commerce, BMO Harris Bank, U.S. Bank, Key Bank, Wells Fargo, Park State Bank, and Western Bank shall be depositories of the funds of this school district for up to a 1 year period commencing January 1st, 2019, and said bank shall be required to deposit with said district collateral securities subject to approval by the school board and kept in trust. Resolved that the collateral securities pledged by Harbor Point Credit Union and placed in trust at Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, North Shore Bank of Commerce and placed in trust at U.S. Bank N.A., Key Bank and placed in trust at Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, all is provided by law and evidenced by trust agreements executed by the treasurer of the school board, an officer of the depository bank, and acknowledged by an officer of the bank holding the securities in trust shall be approved. And would you like me to read all these, Chair?
You can just
go to the last.
Yeah, go to the last result.
Resolved that the treasurer, clerk, and or CFO, executive director of business services, shall be authorized to arrange for the exchange, release, or placing of additional collateral, provided that in all instances such exchange, releases, or placing of additional collateral shall be approved by the school board, and all new collateral shall be placed in trust with the respective aforementioned institutions. I move Resolution B-1-19-3612.
Second. Okay, seconded by Member Lofold. Any discussion? All in favor of Resolution B-1-19-3612?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, 7-1, Member Gorham. Clerk Gorham, okay. Or 7-0, sorry, Clerk Gorham, thank you. And then the next one then is the designation of authority to perform electronic fund transfers. And Member Oswald, would you do that one, please? Thank you.
Resolution B-1-19-3612. Resolved that the treasurer, clerk, and or CFO, executive director of business services shall be authorized to arrange for the exchange, release, or placing of additional collateral, provided that in all instances such exchange, releases, or placing of additional collateral shall be approved by the school board, and all new collateral shall be placed in trust with the respective aforementioned institutions. I move Resolution B-1-19-3612.
Okay,
Resolved by the School Board of Independent School District Number 709, St. Louis County, Minnesota, that the fabulous CFO, Executive Director of the Business Services, has the authority to designate a district employee to initiate electronic fund transfers as required by MS 471.38. I move Resolution B-1-19-3613.
Second.
Okay, motion by Member Oswald, seconded by Member Sandsted. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor of Resolution B-1-19-3613, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, motion carries 7-0. And then the next one is the Resolution B-1-19-3614, authorization of the superintendent of the schools. And let's jump over to Member Kirby. Sorry. Sorry. Watch out. I thought I'm sorry, Member Sandsted. Go ahead. I was thinking you did it. Yeah, no. I am sorry. Go ahead. I'm thinking I was looking here and not there, so.
Resolved by the School Board of Independent School District 709, St. Louis County, Minnesota, that to increase operational efficiency, it is requested that authorization to sign revenue contracts and expenditure contracts for the lease, purchase, and contract for goods or services within budgetary and policy limits of up to $25,000 be granted to the Superintendent of Schools and CFO Executive Director of Business Services. This delegation of authorization is allowable under Minnesota Statute 123B.52 Subdivision 2. The superintendent's designee will review each contract before execution. Resolved by the School Board of Independent School District 709, St. Louis County, Minnesota, that the superintendent of schools, or in his or her absence, the CFO, Executive Director of Business Services, be designated the legal authorized representative to sign applications and execute grant documents for and in behalf, I think that's supposed to be on behalf, of the school district in connection with federal and state laws and funding authorities and local public and private funding agencies that offer categorical financial support to the school district. Finally, resolved by the School Board of ISD 709, St. Louis County, Minnesota, that a list of all of the above contracts and grants hereby approved by the superintendent or the CFO, Executive Director of Business Services, will be provided as an informational item at the first possible regular school board meeting following the approval action. I move Resolution B-1-19-3614.
Thank you, Member Sandsted. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Kirby. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Resolution B-1-19-3614, 7-0. And then, Member Kirby, would you do the next resolution, please?
Well.
Okay.
I move Resolution B-1-19-3615, resolved by the School Board of Independent School District Number 709, St. Louis County, Minnesota, that the following firms have been selected as legal counsel for the district: Freiberger, Buchanan, Smith, and Frederick, PA; Ratwick, Rosewick, and Maloney; Dreyer and Overom; and Rupp, Anderson, Squires, and Waltzberger. Resolved that the authorized contact persons for the school district are as follows: Chair of the School Board, Superintendent of Schools, Executive Assistant to the Superintendent, Assistant Superintendent, CFO, Executive Director of Business Services, Executive Assistant to the CFO, Executive Director of Business Services, Director of Special Education, Manager Facilities, Finance Manager, Senior Human Resource Manager, Human Resources Manager for non-certified staff, and Human Resources Benefits Counselor. So once again, I move Resolution B-1-19-3615.
Second.
Just 1 minute. We're having a little technical difficulty here. It was moved by Member Kirby, seconded by Member Trinka. Just 1 minute.
Hit your light.
I think, well, this one?
You're good. She's out.
Okay. Okay, so all in favor of Resolution B-1-19-3615, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. It passes 7-1. The next 7-0. I don't know why I'm stuck on one there, but the next resolution then is the resolution dealing with the official newspaper. And Member Lofold, would you do that one, please? And you're on. Okay, go ahead.
Resolution B-1-1936-16 reads, the selection of the district's official newspaper resolved by the School Board of Independent School District number 709, St. Louis County, Minnesota, that the district's official newspaper will continue to be the Duluth News Tribune. So I move Resolution B-1-1936-16.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Member Kirby. All in favor? Discussion. Excuse me, is there any discussion? There's no discussion. Member Sandsted, let me turn you on. There you are. Go ahead.
I would just like to say that I hope that we have some excellent journalism students that we are educating in our high schools that might go for some, trying to initiate perhaps an independent paper that might be a little more thoughtful in their coverage of our board perhaps, and not use so many eye-catching headlines that don't reflect the content of the articles, and then using those headlines to support not supporting our initiatives, which to me isn't good journalism. I'm going to vote for this because we don't have an alternative, but that's what I think, DNT.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, Member Gorham.
Member Sandstead stated it well, so I will not repeat the point, but well said. Thank you.
Okay. Any other further discussion? Okay, Member Sandstead.
I just realized there are alternatives. I don't think there are viable alternatives. I'll put it that way, which is maybe digging myself a further hole, but.
Okay. So all in favor of this resolution, B-1-1936-16, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Okay. Okay, 6-1, it passes. Okay. And then the last resolution is, or two more resolutions. The next one is this Tools of Civility, and Member Trinka, could you? Yeah.
My theater teacher would be proud, I think. Resolution accepting the 11 Tools of Civility. Whereas the residents of Duluth Public Schools ISD 709 place a high value on respect and civility in their lives, and they understand that these characteristics are essential to any healthy community. And whereas the School Board of Independent School District number 709 supports opportunities for civil discourse and discussion in the community and within the school district, and whereas the School Board of Independent School District number 709 addresses sometimes controversial issues about which people often feel passionately and which at times lead to uncivil behavior, and whereas an atmosphere of incivility and disrespect can have a damaging effect on the proceedings, on the quality of debate, and on the practice of democracy itself. Therefore, be it resolved that the School Board of Independent School District number 709 recognizes 11 tools of civility as encouraged by the Speak Your Piece, the Civility Project, that will provide increased opportunities for civil discourse in order to find positive resolutions to the issues that face our community. These tools include pay attention, listen, be inclusive, don't gossip, show respect, be agreeable, apologize, give constructive criticism, take responsibility, be honest and care for others, show your evidence, share your reasoning. Be it further resolved that the School Board of Independent School District number 709 shall promote the use and adherence of these tools in conducting the business of the school board. I move Resolution B-1-19-3617.
Thank you, Member Trinka. Do we have a second? Member Sandstead seconded it. Is there any further discussion? I just want to make one comment that we do read the tools of civility at the start of every meeting, and we'll continue to do that to help guide our own civility as a board. So all in favor of Resolution B1 1936-17? Okay. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. And then the last resolution is Resolution B1 1936-18. And Member Gorham, could you please read that?
Yes, approving the continued participation of student school board representatives. Whereas the School Board of Duluth Public Schools, ISD 709, has included student school board representatives since January 2005, and whereas student school board representatives provide the school board with a student voice and youth perspective, and whereas the Minnesota School Boards Association encourages school boards to develop a process to include student representatives, and whereas the superintendent and high school principals have reviewed and revised, where necessary, the selection process for appointing student school board representatives. Therefore, be it resolved that the School Board of Independent School District 709 approves the continued participation of one student school board representative, each from Denfield High School, Duluth East High School, and the Area Learning Center. Be it further resolved that the term for 2019 student school board representatives will be January 7th, 2019 to December 31st, 2019. I move Resolution B-1-19-3618.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Member Gorham and Member Sandstead seconded it. Is there any further discussion? Member Trinka?
Thank you. I just want to say I really appreciate that we include the student reports during our meetings, but I would call on all of us to try to find ways to include them more in our board and our committee meetings. I think we saw some trepidation this last year on the part of our really talented and intelligent and, for the most part, outspoken student reps. But I think that we can be better as leaders on this board in encouraging their participation in our discourse and potentially in committee meetings as well, because I think it's really important that we don't just hear about the hockey scores, which are important, but also that they're literally in the schools every day. And so I would call on all of us, and especially those who are who are in agenda setting sessions, to figure out ways to be more inclusive of our student representatives.
Great, thank you. Member Sandstead?
To add on to that, I think as part of the work of the subcommittee or meta committee, I think we should consider whether or not it would be beneficial to us to allow our student members to have a vote. And I know that happens around the state in some other boards, so something to consider.
Okay, thank you. We'll take that into consideration as we're gathering information. And then Superintendent Grunstead.
Yes, thank you. I love having the students here and having input, and I like the conversation that's happening so far. We have identified reps from Denfeld and East, and there was not currently someone who is interested from the ALC, so they're declining at this time. Should we find someone, perhaps in the fall, that is interested, we would hope to have them in place at that time.
Great. Any further discussion? I would just add one other thing. We have in the past brought some of our own school board reps down to the school board conference, and they've been on panel discussions on their role as a school board member and with other school board members from around the state. So that's one of the ways we've tried to kind of engage them in another capacity and develop some of their leadership as well. And unfortunately, last year, I don't think we were asked to do it, but I know we've had a couple different school board members down. So great discussion. If there's no further discussion on this, then all in favor of Resolution B1 1936-18, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries 7-0. And that completes the resolutions. Did you have something? Okay. Hang on to your adjourn. I'm anxious to. Superintendent Grunset.
I just have a couple of reminders from you, from your newly appointed secretaries to the school board. Please remember to hand in your committee requests to the chair at the end of the meeting. And chair and clerk, please don't leave. Newly elected officers, please don't leave before signing documents with Melinda tonight.
Okay. Great, thank you. And then just again, a reminder that next week are our committee meetings. On Monday is at 4:15 is our HR and our business committee, and Tuesday, we switched. Okay, Monday is our education committee, and then Tuesday is our business and HR committee next week. And I will take a motion to adjourn. Okay, great. Is there a second? Okay, Sandsted. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Thank you. Thank you again.